Michelle from embattled Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore.
An Alabama woman is accusing Moore of sexual assault. This is the fifth and most serious charge leveled at Moore. KTEL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan has late details and reaction from the embattled Senate candidate. Dave.
And these new charges, sounding more serious than we've heard before, are really adding a sense of urgency now for Republicans. Even though many Alabamans still support Roy Moore, today's new accusations appear to have triggered more and louder calls from his own party to drop out of the Senate race. It's turning into a Republican nightmare. But Roy Moore is blowing off any suggestion that he might quit and says, in fact, he's preparing a counterattack against his accusers' credibility.
This is a political maneuver and has nothing to do with reality. It's all about politics.
These things are false, and it's ugly. It's the ugliest politics that I've ever been in my life.
Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore and his wife Kayla Moore lashing out Monday night at new allegations about his alleged sexual misconduct, like this.
Mr. Moore attacked me when I was a child. I tried fighting him off while yelling at him to stop.
With L.A. attorney Gloria Allred leading the way, 56-year-old Beverly Young Nelson, who was born in Santa Maria, California, but has lived in Alabama for many years, became the latest woman to charge that she was a victim of Roy Moore's sexual misconduct. In 1977, she says she worked as a waitress after school at a restaurant in Alabama that Mr. Moore frequented while he was working in the district attorney's office. And one night he offered her a ride home.
He stopped the car and he parked his car in between the dumpster and the back of the restaurant where there were no lights. The area was dark and it was deserted. I was alarmed and I immediately asked him what he was doing. Instead of answering my questions, Mr. Moore reached over and began groping me and putting his hands on my breast. I tried to open my car door to leave, but he reached over and he locked it so I could not get out. I tried fighting him off while yelling at him to stop. But instead of stopping, he began squeezing my neck, attempting to force my head onto his crotch.
Eventually, Nelson said, she kept quiet because she was intimidated by Moore, even as she struggled to break away.
I thought that he was going to rape me. I was twisting, and I was struggling, and I was begging him to stop. I had tears running down my face. At some point, he gave up. And he then looked at me and he told me, he said, "You're just a child." And he said, "I am the district attorney of Etowah County. And if you tell anyone about this, no one will ever believe you."
Nelson brought along her high school yearbook, which she says was signed by Moore earlier that same day. The message: to a sweeter, more beautiful girl I could not say Merry Christmas. Love, Roy Moore, D.A. She was 16. Nelson now joins the group of 5 women who have accused Moore of pursuing teenage girls while he was in his 30s. One accuser says she was 14 at the time. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has heard enough and says it's time for Moore to get out of the Senate race.
I think he should step aside.
Do you believe these allegations to be true?
I believe the women, yes.
Moore fired back with a tweet charging the person who should step aside as Mitch McConnell. He has failed conservatives and should be replaced, Moore wrote. And Monday night, he and his wife adamantly denied that the new charges are true.
This is absolutely false. I never did what she said I did. I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her. I don't even know where the restaurant is or was.
We've been together for 33 altogether. He has never one time lifted a finger to me. He is the most gentle, most kind man that I have ever known in my life.
On Facebook, she claimed about her husband's accusers that we are gathering evidence of money paid to people who would come forward. But so far, nothing has come forward. But McConnell is not alone. The number of Republicans who are distancing themselves from Moore is growing every day. Now Moore is threatening to sue the Washington Post, which first reported the story. At a recent Moore campaign event with plenty of empty seats, he was applauded when he talked about bringing that lawsuit. And in Alabama, more than 50 pastors have signed a letter charging that Moore is being persecuted and urging Alabamans to vote for Moore. And many Alabamans question the timing of the allegations against Moore just weeks before the crucial Senate election next month.
The thing that bothers me about those charges is that he's been in public life, run for many offices, and as many times as it's happened, no one's ever said anything till now.
But a family friend of one of the accusers, who says she was 14 years old at the time when she was victimized by Moore, says there's a reason the charges did not come out sooner.
We asked Lee every time Judge Roy Moore ran for an office, why don't you tell your story? And she said, who's going to believe me? I was a 14-year-old. Who's going to believe a 14-year-old?
Well, the stakes in this race couldn't be higher, and the longer Moore stays in the race, the more complicated it becomes for his party. If they can recruit a Republican write-in candidate, it could divide the GOP votes and open the way for Democrat Doug Jones to possibly win a Senate seat from one of the most Republican states in America. And that would reduce the GOP majority in the Senate to a single vote. Jeff, Lena?